Hello, everybody. Oh my. Okay, technology is not my friend. And although I do want to move to Jamaica, I promise you, I never want to move again in my life. All right, guys. How y'all doing? I hope y'all are well. Misty is backstage. I'm having technical issues. Yeah. When you move, we're trying to, yeah, of course, y'all know I've downsized. We have downsized once again in anticipation of a move. And so we moved into an apartment, and I promise you, these concrete walls do not want to work with me. But we're downsizing, getting rid of stuff, moving stuff in storage. It's been a day. Okay, so we're here. Woosah. All right. So today I'm really excited. I really am. And I'm excited because my special guest today is Misti Memphis. And she's already done what it is that I want to do, which is to relocate, pack up everything or not. At this point, I'm really tempted to leave everything behind and then just go. But she's already done it. She is amazing. If you read the information in the bio, then you already know how amazing she is. If you are fortunate enough to be a member of her groups that she has founded, Capital of Casual Negril on Facebook, Capital of Casual Negril Jamaica on Facebook, or you're in her group, Facebook Jamaica, then you already know how warm and inviting and just fun she is. She tells these jokes and it's like you're laughing throughout the day because, hi Jocelyn, how are you doing? Because she is just absolutely amazing. She is a retired school teacher. And she's just truly a beautiful person. She's a philanthropist. So many people have given tablets and food and so many amazing things who are members of the group because she has this heart, just loving, amazing, giving heart. And she makes everyone want to just participate and get into the spirit of Negril. So I'm not going to continue to talk. I'm going to go ahead and bring her in and let her share her story of how she came to Negril, how she came to Jamaica, and all of the amazing things that she's doing. So welcome, 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 Misti Memphis. Hello.
Pronounce your first name for me.
Synolve.
Synolve. Okay, I thought that was what it would be, but I didn't want to. It could have been Synolve.
Right. Right. It could have been, and it could have been Love. I mean, I get all
you get a lot of that, yeah.
I get a lot of that. And so my mom is the one who gave me that name. She studied in Europe and France, and it was, one of those things I tell her was graffiti on the wall. She's probably skipping class and saw it, graffiti, and was like, oh, yeah, first child I get. I'm going to name her that. And I was first one out. So welcome. Welcome.
Thank you.
And sorry about the glitches. It's been an interesting morning to can't believe this, but here we are. So in that spirit of Memphis, here we are. So you didn't start out in Jamaica. You actually started out in Memphis, hence the name.
Yes, I'm a Memphis girl, born, bred, raised 1951. I'm 70 years old. And
No, I know, I didn't believe that.
I'm 70. And I'm a Memphis girl. It all started when I went there on vacation, April of 2000. And my heart, in the Bible, when Solomon offers to split the baby in half, my heart got split in half between America and Jamaica from that day forward. I was never complete in either place, but more complete in Jamaica. I was to learn.
And so you went in when did you first go again?
2000.
In 2000. Okay. And did you go on a girls' trip or vacation? Or
it was a girls' trip with one other girlfriend. And honestly, she's never returned to Jamaica since.
Wow.
It wasn't that she didn't like it. She just said there are so many other places in the world to see. Why do you keep going back to the same place? And I went to a few other places just to basically make my family happy. I did Rome, London, Aruba. But no matter where I went, it just couldn't measure up to Jamaica for me. When you find your place, you know that's your spot.
That's your place.
Mm-hmm.
That's your spot. Now, I one of the places that I love to go on the internet, besides Capital of Casual, is to Throp's channel. And so I was listening
Yeah,
to
he's
him.
good. He's
He
good.
is good. And
Mm-hmm.
so I love him. And so Hubby and I both, I think Hubby found him first and it's like, oh, you got to check this guy out. And
Mm-hmm.
so I was watching one day, and lo and behold, there you were. He was interviewing you. I think it was one of the first interviews, you and Jackie, that I saw of Jackie's on the
On the
Reef.
reef.
And
Uh-huh.
so we're one of the first interviews that I saw. And so that's how I found out about you. And then of course, Capital of Casual, and joined the group. But it's interesting. We're both here in the Memphis area, and and I had to go all the way to Jamaica to find you. So,
Let
but
me ask you something that I wanted to ask you. Are you a native Memphis girl?
no, I'm not.
Oh,
I
okay.
am,
Okay.
but I'm from the Mid South though. So I'm originally from Batesville, Mississippi. So I
Okay.
graduated
So
from
did you
Batesville High
ever,
School.
in your wildest dreams, and I know you're much younger than I am, and the world was already starting to change for you, but in your wildest dream, did you ever think that a little girl from Batesville would be interviewing a little girl from Memphis, Tennessee about living in Negril, Jamaica?
I I used to play it's interesting because I used to play these games, and I was just thinking of having a dream about that the other day. I was used to play these travel games. That was my favorite game.
Mm-hmm.
The travel game. And I would sit on my grandmother's living room couch, and I would pretend that I was traveling. I had my little baby doll, and I had my little backpack. I don't know where
That's
I was going.
amazing.
But I don't know where I was going. But in my wildest dreams, the technology that we use, and
Mm-hmm.
then the amazing things now that we as African Americans, and especially African American women, are doing, we are leading this Black Exodus movement. We are leading the way on choosing where we want to live, where we want to go, and deciding that perhaps America just isn't everything for us, and that there
Right.
are options. So no, just a long answer to your
Right.
you're amazing. Well, for you, little girl
Mm-hmm.
growing up in Memphis, I'm sure you shopped at Goldsmiths in the Southland Mall. My grandmother used to
I
drive.
helped. I helped to desegregate Goldsmiths.
Did you?
Yeah,
Wow.
I was 3 years old when they put me on the picket line and put me out there. Put me out there with all of. It was a sort of a stroke of genius of Benjamin Hooks.
Mm,
He thought that, well, as you know, many times peaceful demonstrators are sometimes even attacked by the police.
mhm.
But they figured that if they did a picket line of small children, if they bothered them, they would really look bad. So everybody got their kid, and I was 3 at the time. Put a picket sign on them. They taught us how to march in an elliptical because you have to stay so many feet from the store in order to be legal. And we honestly didn't know what we were doing, really. Our parents just put us out there and said, go that way, follow the person in front of you. And we just went in this little elliptical for hours. And on my left was a long line of Memphis police officers with snarling German shepherds, and the firemen were for there with the water hoses to hose us down. If anybody, all they needed us to do was step out of line and be illegal, and then they would have a reason. You see what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
that march went off without a hitch, and soon thereafter, the lunch counters, etc., in Memphis were desegregated.
Mm. Wow, babies.
But yes,
And
that march from Goldsmiths to Lowenstein's, that was Goldsmiths anchored one side of Main. Gerber's was in between, and Levy's. And that track from Goldsmiths to Lowenstein's, I made every Saturday when I was old enough to get the bus by myself. My mother would just let me go downtown. That was back when your kid could, you know,
go.
do things like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And interesting how much Memphis has changed. Milton, hubby says, thank you for your service and for your sacrifice. Thank you. Because the world
So,
would be quite different had you not done that.
and that's what laid the groundwork for these young people now to dream. There are so many Black expat communities on the internet. There's Black expats from around the world. There's Black expats, repats in Jamaica. That's one I belong to. And well, I belong to all of them really, because there are people out there that see you as an example, like, oh, she did my dream. How do you do it? The one area, there's two areas that I'm not really good at advising people about, and that's young people who still want to move and be employed. Because I did it the chicken way, I guess you could say. I waited until I had the guaranteed income and then did it. And
Not a bad way.
Yeah. And then I also can't advise people about when they have school age children. I'm not real well versed on that. You know, what's the best school? What's the best way to do this, private or public? I don't really know. I have to research that one for people.
Because once you left the school system, you were out. That's what most teachers are.
Yeah, but I only know about the U.S. school system.
Right.
I don't really understand the school system in Jamaica, but it must be the times I've visited schools personally in Jamaica, to me it looked like organized chaos. But somewhere in that organized chaos, they're turning out Rhodes Scholars, and they're turning out people who become engineers, doctors, chemists. I mean, when Jamaican children decide to excel, they excel. They far surpass everybody else. So somewhere in that organized chaos, some real education is going on. Because I've even heard some Jamaicans say that they will put their school system up against anybody's.
Now that is amazing, and also very good to hear, especially from an educator of your caliber. So that is good to hear. How do you make the transition? Because I've thought about this a lot. It feels like this time that we're in is another great migration, right? So when our enslaved ancestors came up from the South and they were moving to the North, moving to Memphis, moving in search of freedom, they were on this trek, and they were moving. We only hear about Harriet Tubman, but there were many people who left the South and who moved to Canada, to Mexico, Hawaii. They went wherever they could go. And so this time feels like another great migration. So how do you make this leap, if you will, from civil rights, from the Great Migration, from movement to the North to civil rights, to now where we see ourselves in Black America, where thousands, hundreds of thousands of Black people are leaving and they are moving overseas? How do you think we got here?
Okay, well, here's where I'm going to have to full disclosure once again. My transition wasn't in my hands, and I didn't even know it was happening to me. It was like watching a master jigsaw puzzle being put together for me by, and I hate to be corny, but I say some divine power greater than myself. Because I didn't move there consciously, like you young people. You all get on the internet, you research, you say, okay, first let me decide on a country. Let me ask if there's anybody already living over there, and how is it? And you do your homework. I've got kids. What are the schools like? I can work remotely. Is the internet strong enough? And then after you all do your rational research, and you feel that you have it pretty well pinned down, then you make your move. Now, here's me, clueless, completely clueless to the pieces of the puzzle that happened that had me to move. If I can give you the short version, I retired from teaching. A girlfriend got me a job at the airport. I got the job at the airport. I heard about a girl who goes to Jamaica a lot. I wanted to hang with her because she sounded like my kind of people. She offered me to be a part member in her apartment because her girlfriend was marrying a Jamaican dude and moving out, and she needed somebody to pay half of the rent. And I said, okay, I'll do it. And I told the girlfriend about it. And the girlfriend said to me, you don't like Montego Bay. why don't we look into getting a place in the grill? I wasn't thinking you were interested in having a place in Jamaica in the grill. Yeah, you don't want to move in with a complete stranger. We're friends. Let's do it together. I called the person in the grill. I got a price. It was too much. We called a third girlfriend in. The three of us went in together. Next thing I knew, bam, I had an apartment in Jamaica. And I was working for the airline, so I could fly over there free. And I was fully retired, whereas the other two were still working. So I'm the one that was running back and forth, decorating the place and just having a ball because I could fly free. And bam, I had a place. Then the bottom dropped out, or so I thought.
Mm.
Delta Airlines had promised the FAA when they merged with Northwest that they would let Memphis stay a hub. And all of a sudden, I was on vacation and they dehubbed Memphis. And I get a phone call from the girlfriend who got me the job. And she says, and I quote, "Enjoy your vacation. It's your last one free. When you come back, you have to turn your badges in." So I just felt like the world had come to an end. And this is a good example of when you think God has taken something away from you, and you like, "Why me, Lord? Oh my God, you know what you do to
Yes, I'm there right now. So thank you.
So, I heard a rumor that some of the people in the break room, mind you, now when I got this apartment, I told everybody who worked with me, "Hey y'all, we fly free. I have a place with 2 bedrooms. Come on over to Negril. You can stay with me." You know, they fly free. They could stay free. I think maybe 3 people took me up on it. And so I was generous, but I heard that the talk in the break room was, she got that place over there in Jamaica and can't go now. What's she gonna do now?
Memphis, boy, I tell you.
Hello. So I thought about that, and I didn't like it. So I said, she gonna show you what she can do.
All right now, come on.
She knew how to buy a ticket before she was flying free.
What? Because I can show you better than I can tell you. What?
So what I did was I got on the internet and I went back to Memphis, turned my badges in, bought myself a ticket, a one-way. No, I couldn't buy a one-way because I wasn't a resident yet. I must have bought a round trip for as long as I could stay, which was 6 months. Took my little self over there and stayed. In the meantime, I kept going back and forth on paid tickets. And then eventually I found out it was something called permanent residency, where you can stay as long as you want. So I just kept decorating the apartment and making it pretty. I applied for my permanent residency, got it. And then I just never wanted to go back. Now, I've gone back and forth for business reasons, family reasons, health reasons over the years. But I'm now able to stay like a Jamaican person. I can come and go. Nobody's tracking my days or counting days. And I can go on one-way tickets each way. So that's where I stand now. And that's the whole story from beginning to end.
There you go, in a nutshell.
And it just worked out the way it did. I didn't plan any of it. It just one thing led to another, led to another, led to another, led to another.
Wow.
That's the truth.
Follow the open doors. That's what I say. I always say follow the open doors. When a door opens, and even when you get the impetus about something, whether it's, like the people in the break room, it can be negative. It doesn't matter. And it sparks you to do something. Do that. And then follows like the yellow brick road.
I want to say this to my little researchers. Listen, I understand. This is a big thing. You cannot take this lightly. You can't just capriciously move your whole life. But I promise you, if you step out on faith and just go ahead and do it, and your heart is in Jamaica. Now, your heart has to be in Jamaica because Jamaica's not an easy place to live. But your heart is there. You're going to make it work. You will make it work. You will work out all the kinks and you will make it work. Babies, don't try to work out all the kinks before you move. Like every little thing, every little niche has to be in place. Work out the major stuff, maybe. I mean, definitely work out the major stuff. But just step out on faith, because trust me, you all that other stuff, it will fall into place. It will fall into place.
Absolutely. I'm just, I just feel like I'm at church because,
Oh wow.
yeah, I went out for some reason. This, I'm telling you, we are just having all kinds. But you can hear my voice.
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Here we are. But and I'm not sure why I'm going out. Maybe, hopefully, Milton will do some of the helping and troubleshooting.
Okay.
But I am just really excited about your journey, because I think you're absolutely right that we can, we can do this, but the whole idea of planning every moment is just not going to work. So, what did your family think about this when you were?
Oh, my family. Okay. I got cut out of two wheels because of my obsession. See, I'm not even calling it love. It's an obsession with Jamaica. So I got cut out of two wheels because I guess they didn't want me to give money. They would lead me to the Jah Rastafari Society or something like that. But yeah, they saw through it that they limited. They felt like if they clipped my wings, I wouldn't be able to do what I was doing, because there was just one aunt who went to Jamaica and she did not like Jamaica. So I think her thing was, I'm not leaving her any of my money to go spend over there, because she right. That's where exactly where it would be going. Right to Jamaica. She called that one right. You give me a dime, it's going to Jamaica. So she called that one right. She cut me out, and another person in the family as well. Um, Eventually, and unfortunately, I started to lose family members, and I'm really down to the bare bones of family members right now. But I've converted the last two major people that are left in my life. They're like, baby, go. We can't do nothing with you, so just go on over there. So
And so now that you have children, so do your
right.
children come to Jamaica, or how does that work?
Well, okay, I only have one
One
child,
baby.
one of my birth, and she lives in Tokyo, Japan, with her husband and my grandkids. And we have another one on the way, July the 4th, on America's birthday.
Ah,
But I have three stepchildren, and they're all over the United States. Two of them are here in Memphis, and one is in Virginia Beach, Virginia. And we stay in contact with each other, but they haven't been over to visit me yet. My daughter has been twice, but not since she's been married. She hasn't been over to Jamaica yet, and my grandbabies haven't been to Jamaica yet.
now how many guests do you sponsor, or do you often have that will stay with you?
Oh, sometimes it
Mhm.
literally.
Okay, now you're frozen. What is going on in Memphis with the internet? Ah, okay. Such good success in there. So, so now Misty is, looks like Misty is frozen, and I'm frozen, guys. I tell you, I am not really sure what is going on with the internet, but
Really
I'm sure.
is. I have time to change the sheets.
So repeat that again. I'm sorry, you went out. Mm-mm.
Okay, kids pretty much have a scheduled time of year they come now. So this is my time. This I here.
Yes, I'm hearing you. Oh, I cannot.
Yeah, I said, my friend, and I can expect my closest friends. They have a schedule. Are you back?
Yeah, I'm back. I'm here. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
fighting this internet.
Yeah, I'll say internet is better in Jamaica. Yes, it is.
Awesome. So you um so you do that, but you also help with people who want to have trips and go and come to visit as well. You help them plan some of their activities.
Right on Capital of Casual, Negril Jamaica, and be sure you join the right one. Join the one with 18,000 members because someone started one with almost my same name in order to draw people away from my group. Yeah.
Wow, that's sad.
Anyway, they on Capital of Casual. Here are our goals. There are many places in this world that you can go and visit. You don't have to choose Jamaica. But what I number one want you to do is choose Jamaica. And then number two, we want you to, once you get there, we want you to come to Negril. Don't stop in Montego Bay. Don't go to Ocheria's. Come over to Negril. Once I get you in Negril, I would like for you to please patronize Jamaican owned and operated establishments. It's their country. It's their country. There's
Mm-hmm.
literally no reason why the majority of the tourist dollars. I don't patronize other people as well, no problem. But
Right.
be sure you cut them off a little piece. Don't ignore them for the foreign-owned places exclusively. Stay in,
Absolutely.
stay in the Rio if you like, and send your money to Spain. But can you come out the Rio and go see a few? Get on a boat with Jace Allen and go over to the island and have some lobster, or get on Tiki Pond to Sea and go up the Negril River, or do some of the things that's going to patronize the local people. Go to Colette's Bar, go to Sandra's, go to Connie's, go to Shelly's place up in Good Hope and have a real Jamaican experience. Just get out and give
Mm-hmm.
some, and go to Erica's and have a meal at the first commercial restaurant that was ever opened in Negril when tourism first started.
Mm-hmm.
That's a time honored tradition. Go to Arthur's Yard, Brenda Arthur,
Absolutely.
Brenda Arthur's, and see the first building that was ever put on the 7 Mile Beach. If you can imagine it just being this long 7 miles of
Wow.
pristine beach with nothing but coconut trees. And then Mr. Arthur's built his place. Treehouse is one of the first establishments that was ever started on the 7 Mile Beach. It's time honored. Go stay at Shirella. Go stay at Travelers because the Wellingtons they support education. You know, these people give back to their community. They don't take all the profit and take it to Spain, take it to Italy, take it to wherever. You know, the, these
Mm-hmm.
these foreigners who are coming in and making their tourist dollar. Now, people have a right to spend their money wherever they want to, but there's a term on the internet. It's called influencer. That means you influence people.
Yes.
I'm an influencer. I want to influence you to share those dollars with Jamaican people in their country. It's their country. Support them.
Yes. That's the difference. We have to really look at how we are using our dollars and using our money whenever we come. And sometimes we just don't think about it's a tourist area, but we're not thinking about how we need to support the local economy, and that's something that you really do well.
Yeah, I'm going to try not to name the establishments because I could get in trouble for that. But there's a popular hotel a lot of people like to stay at, and I
Mhm.
would just ask them why. It's foreign owned. It's owned by someone from the well, I won't say. It's foreign owned.
Right.
And my question always is, well, why didn't you stay at XYZ? Oh, those rooms cost too much. Well, the first place is a larger hotel. They have more rooms, way more rooms.
Yes.
Therefore, since they have more rooms, they can offer those rooms at a lower rate than the smaller, more exclusive hotel. But you're not willing to spend a few more dollars to support your own. You're not willing to spend a few more dollars to support your own on vacation. You just simply want to just go where is the cheapest.
Right.
Okay. All right.
Yes, absolutely. You wanna know where is the cheapest and where is the best for you, but at the same time, how are you supporting the economy and how is that impacting the rest of the African diaspora? And we just have to do a better job of there it is. Okay.
There you are. Okay.
Okay, hold on just a minute.
Okay. Wow, sounds like a robot.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see if we can get it going. It's gonna take me just a minute. I'm just not understanding why we're having so many issues because that's coming through. I'm thinking if I yeah, it's still reading it.
Sounds like a bomb.
Right? I know. I don't know why today. I just do not know why today, Misty, of all days, we're having this many technical issues. It's yours. Yeah, I don't have any. Okay, so are you hearing me now? Can you hear me?
Yes.
But I can't hear you.
Oh, I can hear me.
You can hear you.
Yeah.
But I can't hear. Okay. Okay. So, well, I'm back now. I think we'll do this, and if you I appreciate you working with me, and I'm hoping that maybe you will come on with me again once I figure out what is going on. And maybe we can do a redo because I'm just having it's like everything that could go wrong today with the internet has definitely gone wrong. Hi Tamara, so good to see you. Thank you for being here, sweetie. I really appreciate you. And Milton, yes, one of the things I'm going to go first to Mr. Hillary's comment. Good afternoon. Thank you so much. Yes, glad everyone's here in the chat room having this amazing discussion. We are still expatting around the world, and it's our choice to go where we feel celebrated and we feel welcome and we feel honored in order to do that. And so, so now we have this opportunity to go where we want to go. One of the things Milton shared this amazing when Misty was sharing her story. One of the things was when Misty was sharing her story was that we have this amazing opportunity to do and to go where we want it. And I wanted to highlight what she said. She said, because we don't want to miss this, but she said, we all plan, and that's great for us planners that are out there. But at some point, we have to move, right? You have to make a decision. And I really feel like the internet people's out there, we're conspiracy theory. Do not want this message to be heard, because when she was preaching to the choir and was saying all this stuff, amazing, right? Inspirational things. This is when the internet began to really break apart. But she said two amazingly important things. And the first one was that even when you feel like there are things that make us uncomfortable, right? Facts, right? Milton said that's just real. Even when you feel like things are going wrong for you, right? And things just aren't as comfortable and they're not as financially feasible. And we just don't, we feel like, things aren't exactly going the way that we want them to go. Sometimes it's easy for us just to give up and just not even do it. We'll plan and we'll start to plan and then we'll just plan ourselves right out of it because obstacles starts to happen. Misti Memphis talked about her journey and how she was working for Delta and Delta just essentially
Pull the
closes,
rug
right?
out from under us.
Hmm?
They just pulled the rug out from under us. Nobody was prepared for it. In one day, like 1,500 people lost their jobs.
Wow. Just over. And
Mm-hmm.
so she had to be um very strategic in what she was going to do next and not allow that to stop her, not allow that to
It opened the door. It,
yeah.
you know, that old expression: one door closes, another one opens. In that moment, standing on my balcony, I was looking at the ocean because the house had this gorgeous view of the 7 Mile Beach. And I was just standing there, my phone rang, it was my sister girl, and I was like, "Hey, Elkie, how you doing?" And she says, I got something to tell you. Enjoy yourself, because when you come back, the job is gone." What?
Wow.
You know, and I just thought it was the end of the world. And then it had to dawn on me, stupid, you got an apartment in Jamaica, just go there. Now you don't have to go back and forth to work. Just go there and stay. And that's exactly what I did.
Yeah, just
Now
go.
that's my story and everybody's story, but I want to say this, like, you little young people planners, okay? Where do I go to the grocery store? And okay, here's the probably number one question I get asked: how much money do I need to live in Jamaica? Oh my God, that's such a relative question. It's you know, you have to get, Jamaica doesn't have this clearinghouse or internet site. So y'all so internet oriented. Oh, I just want to click on Google and find everything. There's no internet site that's going to tell you every place in, I'll just use Negril, every place in Negril that's for rent. It doesn't happen like that. Nobody registers all of their properties. A lot of people still don't even trust the internet. Do you know that? They're still not, a lot of them still not real into this internet thing. So word of mouth, they'll know that Miss Sadie has a lovely 2-bedroom apartment on the second floor of her house that's been empty for 17 months, and she's been looking for just the right person to live there, and that person might be you, and you might be able to get it for a very decent price. So you have to get boots on the ground. You have to come. You have to stay for a while. You have to make some friends. You have to make some inquiries. It's not easy. Now, in a place like Montego Bay, they're going to take you to all the fancy places that cost 1,500, 2,000 a month, you know? And, can you do without AC? I bought AC. I put it in my bedroom. I think I've had it for 3 years. I turned it on maybe 5 times.
Wow.
You know, I don't have to have AC. And matter of fact, if I get in somebody's car and they have air conditioning on, or I go into a place of business, I am freezing. I have adapted. I don't need it. Y'all got to have a dishwasher. Wash your damn dishes yourself. Wash it. I want a dishwasher. I want, they want granite countertops and stainless steel and hardwood floors. And what they want to do is transplant America into Jamaica and still live in that same lifestyle. But if you can make some changes and if you can adapt, you're going to be able to live there a lot cheaper than that person who just cannot adapt. And gated communities. I want to be in a gated community. So let me get this straight. So you want to go somewhere, you won't be afraid of your own people. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Okay.
Right.
But
Say that again.
personal choice. Say it again.
Say it
You
again.
want You want to go somewhere and you want to be afraid of your own people.
Mm-hmm.
Now, somebody's going to say to me, what is a matter of safety? It's a matter of safety in Memphis, too. I live in Memphis, was just voted the #1 most violent city in the whole United States of America.
America.
So am I telling the truth, Synolve?
Yeah, that's the truth.
#1. Above
Number one.
Chicago, above Baltimore, above LA, above everybody, Memphis. And then people have the nerve to ask me, ain't you scared down there in Jamaica? No, I'm not. I'm scared here.
Come on.
Hello.
I
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
yeah.
But all right.
I
So
agree.
when you say gated community, when you say dishwasher, when you say AC, when you say I gotta have good internet, then you knocking in the $800 to $1,500 a month range. So if you can afford that, go there. But I know some
Right.
lovely apartments that are, I would say the range would be anywhere from $300 a month up to that 1,500. So your biggest decision is your place of dwelling and what your amenities need to be. Now, if you want my rule of thumb, I tell people if you have a guaranteed income of somewhere in the area of $3,000 a month, you can be very comfortable in Jamaica. If you
Mm.
just want a number, okay, you can do it for less. You could do it for 2.5. You might even be able to do it for 2. But it's what are you willing to give up, and what is it that you have to have? A lot of people don't know the average Jamaican household does not have hot water. They take cold showers. Um, if they want to, like, I don't know, wash the dishes in hot water, they're gonna heat it up on the stove and then pour it in the sink. But the average Jamaican household does not have hot running water.
Mm.
Now, I have a hot water tank. I have one. Guess what? I don't use hot water
Why? Wow.
because I've gotten used to the cold water.
We can get
And
used to anything.
yeah, and when I have company, they want to take a hot shower. There's a little switch that you turn on. You turn it on about 15, 20 minutes before you want to take your shower. Take your shower, turn the switch. Because what you don't want to do in Jamaica is keep your hot water heater running constantly because look this one up. I told you Memphis was the most violent city in the United States of America. Jamaica has the highest electrical rates of anywhere in the world. Look it up.
Higher than MLG and W? Because
Yes, ma'am.
I
It's
can't
like the
imagine.
highest, they are among the highest utility rates in the world. The world. So you go on over there and turn your AC on and keep it running all day. Wait till your bill comes. Okay.
Yes.
So I don't have my hot water heater is not constantly running. My hot water is on demand. If you want some hot water for some reason, you go turn the switch on, do what you got to do, then turn the switch off. You want to upset Misty, forget to turn the switch off
Mm-hmm.
and leave the hot water running, water running. I will get you.
Oh no. It and see that's the lie that we're told, because here we are. Milton's got my phone now since they didn't want to act right. So that's Milton. When you see Salam, that's Milton in the chat. But the AC part, Milton says that's totally opposite of Memphis. LOL. You need the AC every day, but we're told these things about other countries. Oh, it's so hot. Oh, it's horrible. I was talking to a friend who was in.
I don't find Jamaica. Okay, granted, I'm gonna grant you that you would think it would be June, July, August, but actually, for me, it's September and October that
Mm,
it's kind of hot over there. It really gets hot. Um, I use my standing fan. I go sit my little butt down somewhere, turn my fan directly on me. I'm good. I don't need AC.
right.
It's not that it's not hot. It's just that you learn to deal with it a different way. Take your little self down to the beach, get in the ocean, take a swim. When you come out, you feel a little bit cool. Get hot again, go back in the ocean.
There are ways. You
Yeah,
gotta
yeah.
have right. You gotta have boots on the ground, and adaptation. Tamara is saying is key. And you mentioned that you have to learn how to adapt. You can't
And you
go and
will.
just,
Oh,
and
you
you will.
will. You will. Even when I have to come home to Memphis, I still don't turn my AC on in my home in Memphis. I have a Hunter fan in the bedroom, and it's really good. And I turn my fan on, and I still don't even turn my AC on here. I just have changed. My DNA changed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To adapt. To
Right. But see,
adapt.
your little generation, see, I was born without AC. There was no
Well,
AC in the hospital where I was born, and we didn't have AC on Edith Street. So it's kind of like my body went, oh yeah, I remember a time when there was no AC. But see, y'all are air conditioner babies. Y'all were born in air conditioning, and y'all used to air conditioning.
well, see, now I'm from the generation where we didn't have AC either. My grandmother had an
Oh, okay.
AC on Wood Street in Batesville, Mississippi, and that AC only got turned on about 2 or 3 times a year, and it had to be
Hmm.
above 100. If what
Hello,
was his name? Brown. What was it? They used to come on MCTV5. If he did not
Dave
say
Brown.
no,
Dave
huh?
Brown.
If
Dave
Dave
Brown.
Brown did not say that it was
Dave
going
Brown.
to
Uh-huh.
be over 100, Bruce Smith and turn the air on. You was gonna
That's
be hot.
right.
You better get that fan and you sleep under your sheet and take the rest of that cover off because TVA. She didn't mess with TVA. So
And
and
like
I didn't grow up.
November, December, January, February, it's so cool at night
Mm,
that you have to get up under the car. Yeah. I
wow.
mean, it's beautiful. That's my favorite time of year. Favorite. And mosquitoes are very low and it's cool at night. You talk about some good sleeping weather. You can open your windows and listen to the tree frogs make their little melody. And you don't have any breeze at night. Generally, the breeze doesn't blow at night. But around December, January, you have something called the Christmas breeze, and the Christmas breeze is fabulous. It's just, there's no way you can convince me you need AC that bad. Nope,
Wow.
it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. And that's what
Mm-hmm.
that's what I want, just the peace and the beauty, because here, um even though we have Mississippi River, you can't get in. That current will take you all the way. You'll be you will be up north somewhere. That current, you just can't enjoy it. And many of us who are here are water babies. But a lot of times, because we don't have boots on the ground, we haven't just taken the opportunity to go ahead and go. We're planning and we're planning and we're planning, that we plan ourselves right out of it. We plan ourselves right out of the things
Mm-hmm.
that we need to do and want to do for ourselves. And so the time now is just to not give up. It's, we're not giving up, just to keep going, because we already realize that Milton is saying that America is, has its issues, and so we want to live a different way. We want to live in a much better, healthier environment. So Milton is asking, what are some of your favorite things to do and eat in Jamaica?
Some of my favorite things to do, one of my favorite things to do is stay at home and do nothing. just stay home for a day and hang out with my cat and my dog. That's one of my favorite things. I love to go down to the 7 Mile Beach occasionally. After a lot of people say, "Oh, if I lived there, I'd be at the beach every day." Mm, it kind of gets old, like anything would, but not old to the point where you don't want to go. But you don't go quite. At least I don't go quite as often. But I love to go down to the 7 Mile Beach, and when I do go, I say to myself, I should do this more often, because it's beautiful. I love a place called Pelican Bar. I love to go to Treasure Beach to a place called Lashings. I love to eat. Milton wants to know where to eat. Oh my goodness, do I even list it?
Food is the first.
Sandra Hines special dinners on Tuesday that she cooks. Colette Parker's fried chicken and potato salad. You have to arrange for that ahead of time. Shelly's Shelly's place. Anything she cooks for me, but mostly her jerk chicken and her she makes a aki pasta. There's a
Mm.
place called Conch Hill that a lot of people don't know about. It's tucked away behind the vegetable and fruit ladies on Dumpling Shop Lane. He's a trained Italian chef and he can whip it up just that fast, and it's simple ingredients, and it doesn't have a lot in it, but his food is to die for. There's Erica's restaurant. I mentioned it before. The first restaurant that was ever started in the grill. Connie's Country Western Bar, her fried chicken and mac and cheese, swordfish, lobster, mac and cheese. Did you hear what I said?
Mm-hmm.
Lobster, macaroni and cheese with lobster in it. Now just let your man marinate on that for a minute. Right? Oh, jeez. Treehouse. Love their Ghirardelli chocolate brownie with Gail's homemade ice cream on top. I love the barbecued ribs at Skylark at Annie's. Is it Annie's? I think it's called Annie's Restaurant. I love Catch a Falling Star for fancy dinners and the Lodge at Tensing Pen for fancy dinners. And there are just actually I counted, and there are roughly 158 restaurants in the grill,
Wow.
158 eating places. I've been to most of them. There's a new one called Tip Top Turf and Surf, and it's in the old building where the public house used to be. And those young people are doing some wonderful things there. Quality Seabreeze Restaurant, right down on my corner. He's a great chef. The new Ocean Cliff, which took over from the old Spa Retreat Resort, food there cannot be beat. That's another fancy one. So that was your
You've got to
husband
write an
that asked that
ebook,
question, right?
right? You've got to write an ebook of all of the amazing places to stay, because and to stay and to eat, because I mean, I was reading a post of yours, and you were talking about a gentleman was looking for, I think for his wedding, he was looking, or anniversary, and maybe an anniversary, but they was looking for this
No,
amazing thing to do.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I made
And
up his
you to celebrate her and to make the day special, and you gave just this beautiful just whole day. Milton, I'm saying I need her. I want you to repeat this, Misty, for Milton. This is personal.
girl.
Okay.
I don't know if I can remember it, all of the details. But it was a panty dropper. I would be taking my panties off.
Right.
My husband did that for
Um,
me that day that I described.
you described it from morning
So
to
you want me to tell you what that I believe I had them start out with a mimosa cruise on Tiki Ponda Sea down in the Grill River to watch the sun come up, and from there he takes her to Just Natural for breakfast. Among the garden, you go in the garden and you find your place, and it's like a game of hide and seek. The personnel has to find you wherever you decided to sit to serve you. Their forte is their marmalade. Their marmalade is wonderful. Then you whisk her off. I gave two options for the majority of the day. Either they go to a place like Jackie's on the Reef or Tanya's Escape and get a couples massage out by the ocean, or spend the day at one of the pavilions, private cabanas at Woodstock, and have a beach day. Then you go home, change clothes, and get ready for the 100 candle dinner at Catch a Falling Star, which is the
mm,
romantic couples dinner in which they light your way all the way to your table with 100 candles, and then you're surrounded by more candles. And you have your own dedicated server, and it comes with a bottle of wine and all of that sort of thing. And then if you're not just exhausted, find out where the live music is at night and take her out dancing. And
mm.
then when you go back to the hotel room, you know what's supposed to happen, right? I don't need to outline that for you.
Yes. Hopefully they can handle that part. Oh my goodness. The this is Jamaica. This is Jamaica. And I think that's the thing that people miss, the real beauty of Jamaica. But also this is Misty Memphis. I feel like, this is this reintroduction, I guess, to the world, which you've had so many amazing interviews, but this is what you'll get when you join Capital Casual. This is the amazing advice, the strong voice of sisterhood and family in creating a new family in Jamaica where you go. She's just amazing. She is absolutely amazing and a
Thank
wealth
you.
of information and knowledge. And this is her expertise. And I think one of your friends said to you that you're always the educator, and you are. You're
Yeah.
educating the world on how to think differently. And we could take our generation and the generations behind us could definitely take a page out of your book where you just go, just live, and not have so many reservations and ask so many questions, where you talk yourself out of the best life that you could possibly ever have.
Let me say this about a life in Jamaica. You even if I tell you, even if I tell you certain things, you have to go and you have to learn for yourself. I've gone through. I'll just use this as an example. From when I first moved to my place, my yard was a mess. Oh, it was bad, 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 bad. You would have walked up there and said, no, thank you, and walked away.
Mm-hmm.
But from that first gardener to the present one I have, I think I've gone through perhaps six. It's like anywhere in the world, you got to try, you have to learn people, you have to take a chance, you have to find out who's real and who's not real, you have to find out who's trying to use you and who's not trying to use you, and you have to find your village, and you have to find your circle of tried and true, genuine folks. Nobody can do that for you but you. You're
Mm.
going to find out, like, okay, I would say in the grill is two major grocery stores, the High Low and the Icon. You got to find out which one of those two you feel comfortable shopping at. Nobody can tell you. You have to find out what mode of transportation you want to use, where you want to hang out, who you want to associate with. Your circle is going to be extremely important. And nobody can do that for you but you. They can't tell you that on the internet. Nobody can tell you that. You're going to find certain corners you can cut. For example, my next door neighbor is one of the many people who has a little business where she buys wholesale chemicals, your dishwashing liquid, your fabric softener, your vinegar to mop the floor, and she buys it in big containers, puts it in smaller containers, and sells it for a profit. Well, when I need my household cleaning products, I go right next door and patronize her rather than buying them at the grocery store. They're cheaper, but I'm also supporting her little business. You don't know these things until you get there. You got to go to the meat market. Can't be buying your bacon in packages at the grocery store. Go buy it in a great big bulk, wrap it in aluminum foil yourself, and put it in the freezer in smaller parts. These are the things you're going to learn. You buy your chicken at the meat market in a 10-pound big old bag, and now you got to separate it, clean it, skin the chicken yourself. You don't go in it. You're not going in the grocery store and buy the boneless, skinless chicken breast all wrapped up in a nice little plastic tray like you do in the United States. I mean, you can, but you know what I
It'll
mean.
cost money.
So you learn. You have to get in there. You got to get in there and learn. And nobody can do it for you but you. And you can't do it until you go.
Can't do it until you go.
You're gonna make some mistakes. You're gonna make some mistakes. You're gonna get gypped out of some money along the way. You're
She's
gonna
spitting fire. I had to
you're
put that up
gonna
there.
learn. You're gonna lose some. You're gonna win some. You're gonna win some. You're gonna win
I
some.
had
You're
to.
gonna lose some. But you have to go. Now you can't do that over your little computer with Google, and even in any of these expat groups, they can give you their experience, but they can't give you your experience.
Right. Right. Some of the things that you brought up about having experience and being able to adjust, they're just things you have to know. But I love Mr. Hurley's comment. Amen, amen, Sister Misty. I received that with the heck is the purpose of having a dishwasher anyway? It promotes
Honey,
like
they
you
want
sound
they
like my
want
grandmother.
they want hardwood floors and granite countertops and stainless steel appliances. And I have to have a dishwasher. I have to have AC, and I have to have reliable internet that works. Nobody in the look at your internet. What it's doing today?
Look,
Okay,
and I'm in Memphis. Like you would think.
nobody can guarantee you perfect, flawless internet. Okay, nobody can guarantee you that. Because I work
I'm
remotely.
downtown
I'm
near the
I'm a digital nomad. I work remotely. Okay. Mm. See, in Jamaica, I've had my electricity be off for as long as 4 or 5 days in a row. The electricity. Yes, you lost everything in your freezer. It has happened. So if the electricity is not working, the internet doesn't. So how you gonna tell your boss? Well, I've been off for 4 days because we ain't got no electricity. You gonna get fired.
right. I I understand because I grew up in Mississippi, but like exactly what you're saying. I'm having the worst internet day of my, entire,
Mhm.
one of the worst. I mean, and it's ridiculous these expectations that we have on other countries when we don't live in a state of perfection exactly where we are. And so Milton is saying it's really sad that Memphis is so violent and there's so much trouble. We don't realize that so many of our cities, Camden, Newark, and so many other places are having these issues as well. But then we want to talk about um, other countries and what they're going through, Africa, Jamaica, throughout the
Okay.
Caribbean, without really exploring
This is
what we're already,
kind of
what's
off
already
the
going on.
subject. This is kind of off the
Mm-hmm.
subject, but this is one of my picking points, and this might be the place I get to say it. There are other groups on the internet that are Jamaica, Negril based, whatever. They want to report every single crime incident that happens in the grill, every single car wreck in which somebody got hurt or killed, every single motorcycle accident, every single negative incident that happens in the grill. Okay, in Memphis last week, they found. See if you remember hearing about this when they found somebody's body in a suitcase sitting on the sidewalk.
I saw
Somebody
that.
had put somebody put the person in the suitcase. Um, there's just a millions of examples. The young man who was playing video games in his living room in Orange Mound, what was he, 11, 13, something like that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They just came through there and shot through the window and killed him. And he was in the house at home where we say our children should be, right?
Right.
So my point in all of this is what I get because I won't allow it on Capitol. You try to paint a false picture of Negril or Jamaica and act like don't nothing bad happen there. That's not the point. That's not what I'm trying to do. It's just until you can stop it where you live, why are you highlighting it in this black country? Why are you emphasizing it in Jamaica? Why are you screaming and hollering about it? As someone from another country always pointing out, so what's the point? It was a car accident. What's your point? Are you trying to tell people don't drive? Are you trying to tell people don't drive on the street? Are you trying to tell people what and immediately they start saying the person was speeding. You don't know that. You don't know whether they were
Right.
speeding or not. You weren't there. Oh, they drive so crazy. You don't know what caused that accident. You're immediately ascribing fault to the victim. And it's all their fault that everything happens to them because they are so crazy. Oh my God, they're so crazy. All of these negative images you're painting. And I don't allow it on Capitol because we're here to promote the good in the grill and the good in Jamaica. And until I can stop car accidents and murders and crazy incidents in Memphis, then I have no right going over to their country and telling them or highlighting or talking about them all the time. That's just my
Right.
feelings.
Oh, I agree, and she's serious about that because I have seen the, I have seen you say, and I'm like, what's going on? Be positive at all times. And so, and if it's not positive, Negril positive Jamaica, then it's not staying up. And we have to learn how to be positive. We have to learn how to support each other. There was just a shooting in the mall by the police in LA, and the guy that they ended up killing didn't even have a gun, and he just had like some wire or something. But they ended up killing a 14-year-old
He had a
girl
padlock and
who
a chain.
was
He
right
had a padlock and a chain. And admittedly,
chain.
he had assaulted some people with said padlock and chain, But you don't need to go there. Go to Oak Court Mall, where they shot the guy with the 9-month-old baby in his arms, and the baby took 5 bullets right here in Memphis. Try that one on for
Right,
size.
and that's
Okay,
something. I mean,
why'd you go all the way to LA? So see,
no,
so here's
right,
that's
no,
that's
and
my
the
point.
reason.
Until, you remember that auntie I told you about? I got cut out of the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
The auntie I told you about? Okay. My auntie was a social worker for Memphis, for the Department of Public Welfare. It was her job to go around people's homes and interview them and decide whether they could keep their welfare or not. Okay. She went to Jamaica and absolutely hated it. And when I started going, she kept asking me, why did I keep going back over and over again? And I said, well, why don't you go back? What was it you didn't like? And she said, oh, all that poverty, all those poor people, they were just so, it was depressing. So I said, Aunt Hazel, your job is working with poor people in Memphis. Have you been able to stop poverty here yet? That was the day I got cut
No.
out the wheel.
Mm.
The day I challenged her to fix it here first before she started talking about what was going on in Jamaica. And when I hit her square between the eyes that we have poverty here, you ain't fixed it. So why you going over there talking about what and majority of those people, yes, they don't have a lot, but I guarantee you they way happier than you are.
Right. And that's the
Mm-hmm.
truth. That is the absolute truth. They are happy. I mean, and we are not at
Not
peace. We're
everybody,
working
and it
five, six
and it is
jobs.
hard. I don't mean to negate it, and I don't mean to say that their struggle isn't real, but I'm
Yes.
just saying my housekeeper, if I give her a chicken, that chicken is gonna go to 4 families. She
Hmm.
gonna go home, she gonna cut that chicken up into 4 quarters. Her sister's gonna get part of it. Other sister's gonna get part. Her next door neighbor's gonna get part, and she and her husband will keep a part. That's another thing they do that we haven't quite gotten uh, a clue of, and that's sharing. They share. They overshare. They take care of each other. Yes, ma'am, they do. And that, I submit to you, makes a person rich.
That makes a person rich. It makes a person wealthy. All we
Mm-hmm.
hear a lot about in Memphis and the Mid South, but even throughout America, is don't let anybody use you, don't let anybody take advantage of you, and we don't share. It used to be when I first wrote my book, I called it A Cup of Sugar. I actually ended up changing it to
Hmm.
Love the New Currency,
I like that.
but it reminded me. The reason I wanted to name it originally A Cup of Sugar, and I tell the story in the book,
Mm-hmm.
is because my grandmother was a teacher and she taught for 34 years. So I have this love and admiration for teachers. She taught in the Batesville school system, 4th grade for most of her career. And she started out at Patton Lane and then ended up segregating the South Panola school system. And so for one of the first Black teachers to go. But she would always, in the mornings, because she had a lot of farmers and farm kids who were who were teaching. So early in the morning, she'd get a knock on the door, especially Sunday mornings, and someone would have to want to borrow a cup of sugar. And so she would say, instead of her giving them a cup of sugar, she'd go into her freezer because you had roaches and all, little critters and all kinds of stuff. She'd go into her freezer and she'd give them the whole
Mm-hmm.
bag. And we have lost that in American culture. We don't help each other. We
We
don't
won't
love
even
each
make eye
other.
contact.
Right, right. We don't even know
We
who our
won't, we
neighbors
won't even
are.
make eye contact. Girl, did you just hit up on something I got to say about Jamaica? I go out walking in the morning. I was American, so I just man my own business. And I find that I got to speak to everybody. You have to speak to people. They want a good, and you have to use the proper greeting. Good morning, good afternoon,
Mm-hmm.
good night. You have to use the proper greeting, or they're not going to answer you. And by the time I leave my house and come back to my house, if I haven't spoken to 50 people, I'm a monkey's uncle. Everybody, they don't ignore each other like we do now.
Yeah.
You still have that sense, that feeling of community, and that feeling of human connection
Mm-hmm.
that you lost in the 60s in America.
Right.
And I walked into this wonderful country and I stepped in there and I found it again. And I don't want to lose it. I want to keep it. Do you know carolers come down the lane and sing Christmas carols on Christmas Eve day?
Wow.
Girl, the wonders I can tell you. The wonders. It's
It's beautiful.
absolutely priceless. It's
Yes.
priceless.
And we need to go back to that, right? Milton is saying this is such good
Mhm.
information. And we have to adjust. And it may be not, with the pandemic that we're having now, we're all having to step back because there are empty store shelves here in America. Our
Oh yeah.
dependence on foreign countries is
Mhm.
has put us in a position. Farmers are being paid not to grow.
Mhm.
Hubby can talk about this all day long, or not to grow food. And so here we are in this position of needing things, and America not manufacturing, not growing her own food. It has put her in a position to be in what she
Mhm.
where she is at the liberty of the world, the whim of the world, whether these shipping containers are sitting out on ports, or how we're going to get products, and we don't know. And so going back to growing our own food and going back to a time when we took care of our neighbors and took care of each other is most important. And we can't isolate ourselves. Misty Memphis talked about that. We cannot. She is spitting fire. We cannot isolate ourselves, whether it's in a gated community or just saying hello to people while walking down
Yeah.
the beach. Right? That's
I
when
mean,
things go wrong.
I can only speak for myself, but gated communities, that wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. But I see it over on the expat groups. I see it over and over and over. They don't want to consider anything other than a gated community. You know, so I mean that's it's a personal choice. But I live in a Jamaican neighborhood with neighbors,
Mm.
and I can't tell you how much I love it. I just can't tell you how much I love it. Of course, I'm lucky. I have great neighbors. I have great neighbors. What if I didn't have great neighbors? What if I had neighbors that were not so good?
Right.
You would probably different, you know. But but I have great neighbors, so I am so happy.
So, are you in a house, or when you say neighborhood, not an apartment or
Yes,
house?
I'm in a house.
Okay,
No, I'm in a
in a
house
real neighborhood, y'all.
in a real neighborhood, and I don't have walls. Everybody, the family that rented me my property, they don't believe in they got their living in Canada. And the
Hmm.
one thing they hate about Canada is the little fenced off yards, and this is my territory, because this is all one huge big family property. And one of their rules is no fences, no walls, no gates. I mean,
Mm.
not that I would go into the expense of doing that at a rental property anyway, but it's just you can walk from Miss So and so's yard to 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 Miss So and so's yard uninterrupted. Okay. And one thing I know about walls and gates in Jamaica, if they want to come for you, walls and gates ain't gonna stop them. They use the dogs and the fence to climb to get over on the other side, or wire cutters, you know. So,
Wow, that ain't gonna
and I
stop. It won't
know
stop
I
you in
know of some
Memphis.
I know of some gated communities. While they screaming about gated communities, I know of some gated communities where robberies still happen.
Mm. Just
Yeah.
like Memphis. It's no
Yeah.
different anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So you talked about September in the Caribbean. 10, it's beautiful. Tamara
September,
says she
October's
loves
hot.
ocean.
September, October's hot.
Ah,
Yep.
and November. So October, November.
September, October is to me the hottest months.
Ah, just go down to the pool, go down to the ocean. Yeah,
Yeah, the
and
pool,
just
the
cool off.
ocean. Yeah. I have a
How?
beach 300 steps from my front door.
Wow.
It's not the 7 Mile beach, but it's 300. When you walk out, I counted them from the first step out of my front door down to the sand, 300 steps.
Yeah, that's awesome. 300 steps. Oh my goodness.
Mhm.
I don't know how you caught me. No, Miss Hill, I do know how you caught me because you're on my email list. But I got a chance to interview Mocha Moselle from Black Expats and Repats, and
She's a visionary.
mm-hmm,
She's a
absolutely,
visionary.
yeah, absolutely. And I think I found out about her from your group or Stephanie Perry, but here on YouTube. But we definitely the what I love is how supportive you are of other people. When Mocha Moselle was, with her group, all the things she was doing, you always supported her, said, hey, go over and join her group. She's young, she's visionary. You always have these
Mhm.
positive things to say. And I love that energy. Um, let's see. I don't remember air conditioners when I was growing up either. Tamara, you're younger than I am. I bought air conditioner as a young adult. We basically had a
Mhm.
fan, right, Tamara? I mean, we had,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm gonna go through these comments. Miss Hillary, here in the Caribbean, when I was a child, I did not have air conditioning until I turned back as an adult. The atmosphere was a lot
Oh,
cooler and breezier. Where are you in the Caribbean, Miss Hillary? I, for some reason, put you in Africa, but you know what? When I was doing a lot of African content, I just realized how kind and supportive you are. Milton is saying Aki saltfish, but she mentioned the Aki pasta, Milton, so she got you.
Aki Saltfish. For me, best place is Sips and Bites on the West End.
Mm. Okay, you got that, Milton? Well, all right now. When you were talking about the food, he was saying, all right now. Okay.
Second
Um,
best, Canoe.
say
Second
that
best,
again.
Canoe. Canoe, second best. Aki and Saltfish, number one. Sips and Bites, second best, Canoe.
Ah,
It's on the
nice.
both. All the good food is on the West End,
Mm.
basically, mostly. You know, the beach has the beach. We have the food.
Ah, great wisdom. She is dropping, Milton. She's dropping wisdom. You're both handling technology issues very well. Well, thank you, because I look calm, but in my spirit, I'm like, I can believe. But anyway, we must go on. Jamaican prodigal has returned. Jamaica rule violence statistics. Rules violence. I'm not
Okay,
sure.
I can address that. It is true. It's true. Because the way the statistics are calculated is by percentage of the population.
Mm,
So with the small percentage of the with the small population that Jamaica has, and with the number of incidents per capita of the people, yes, it is very high. Okay. The one that I argue with though is this perception that returning Jamaicans and expats are in some kind of special danger because they're rich and somebody wants to rob them or whatever. The stats don't bear that out.
mm,
What happens is when there is an incident of that kind, it gets a whole lot of press.
of attention.
And the right. And the people, I'm not listen to me carefully because I got in trouble with this on Winston Wellington's interview. I am not saying that it does not happen. Okay. It does happen. But if you take all of the, here's what you have to do to really look at that statistic honestly. You have to look at every single person who has returned to Jamaica, who is currently living there, all over the island, Kingston, Mandeville. Mandeville is mostly a whole community of returnees. Southfield, Port Antonio, everybody. You got to take everybody who ever left Jamaica, made their living, and came back and has moved back and currently living there alive and breathing. And then you have to isolate those, say, 10 incidents that you know about and do the stats of that population in order to conclusively say that there is something unique to how a returnee is treated as opposed to just a regular Jamaican person. You have to look at that objectively. And yes, there are people who have returned. Some of the incidences break my heart. It happened to a friend of mine.
Mm.
I never got to meet her in person. I just knew her via the internet. Very brilliant lawyer from England who returned to Jamaica, and she was defending her yard, one of her workers, and he had committed a murder, and she went and bailed him out of jail and brought him home, and he murdered her.
Mm.
You know, but those incidences, if you take them and you got to look at all the people that are living peacefully and fine, then those incidents don't bear out your theory that there's some special target on you when you return as a returnee.
Bullseye.
Right. It's got to be you. All of those incidents is also, if you look at them, there was some kind of a bad business transaction pretty much that occurred, such
Mm.
as the elderly couple that got into the argument with the dude who was doing repairs on their home. I don't know whether he changed the price on them or he didn't do work they were happy with, but it goes back to what your mama taught you. You got to be very careful who you let around you.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be very careful who you're dealing with. Did you go with the person who had the cheapest price, or did you do your research and ask your friends and relatives, is this a reliable person? Has he done work for you? Or did you just find somebody and, oh yeah, that's a pretty good price, and you don't know who you're dealing with. You got to
Right.
be careful, just like you do anywhere in the world. You remember I told you how many gardeners I've been through?
Right.
Okay. One of them, I can honestly tell you, assaulted his baby mother. And when he came to work that Thursday, I told him goodbye. It was nice working with you, but if you'll hurt her, what might you do to me? Can't deal with you. Was happy
Mm-mm.
with his work, fabulous work. He had done great work for me, but I found out he had that little violent twist in his personality. You can't be around me. You got to go.
See ya.
Yeah. So it's common damn sense. Just do what your mama taught you. Be careful who you have around you. Okay.
Right. The
So
same
yeah.
way you would do in the U.S. If you
Mhm.
were, I mean, same way you would do in Memphis
But the
or
person,
anywhere.
but the person who said that the incidences of violence in Jamaica are very high, that person is telling the truth. They are out of sync per the population. But you're gonna find that a whole lot of that is some of your little scammers, your little gangsters, your undercurrent settling their scores for all of their various reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And by and large, the illegal gun trade in Jamaica is fueled by you know who,
Right.
because it started during an election in which a certain government wanted a certain person to win, so they introduced guns to the island, and they've been there ever since.
Mm-hmm. Right. And we're having the
Do your
same. The
history.
Stars and Stripes are having the same issues with their loose gun laws, and that's one of the things that's happening in Memphis now. Is because we have a governor who has changed these gun laws, and so now um, people are being unduly put into these harmful situations because we don't. Where is this book? Because we're not taking responsibility for guns being here. Let me charge this. Sorry, guys,
Mhm.
but we're not taking the responsibility we need to take for the guns being here, and our responsibility of how we as a country has enacted or has acted throughout the world. And it's very interesting um, very interesting because we continue to do things that we should not do. But I'm not gonna get into that because that makes me go on a whole rant about leaders that have been unduly targeted around the world, and it happens with countries. I just watched a movie last night. Mel, will you put the name of the movie? It's The Great American Crime. I think it's The Last Great American Crime is on Netflix, and you have got to watch it because it really sheds a light on who we are in the Stars and Stripes. I'm gonna get off there because that will make me real rant for real. Mr. Hillary, same here in Trinidad and Tobago too, Sister Misty and all. With some folks want to report every crime statistic for selfish gains and political reasons. Crime is a problem, but it's not as bad as they say, and they're really Mr. Hillary, exactly what Misti Memphis was saying. They want to push this idea of crime, but then hide the crime statistics that are going on right here in their own countries, European countries as well. And it's very unfortunate. Milton says, that's how I grew up. We took care of each other, right? Misti Memphis talked about that. We take care of each other in the community. That one chicken can feed a whole bunch of households and can go a long way. O&E says, wow, Misti Memphis is wise and strategic lady. Don't you know that? I've been trying to tell y'all. I tell everybody that
Thank
I
you,
know
Owen.
about Misti Memphis. She
No, but
breaks down.
seriously, if you I have a friend, his name is Mark Renaissance Cameron. I've been trying to get him to find this post for me for the longest, but he broke down all of the known expat murders that have happened over the past several years.
Right.
And he broke down the reasons behind each one of them. And that if you first of all, there are not that many. I mean, it's just that when one occurs, it's going to be on the Gleaner, the Observer, McCoy News. I can't think of that other one, but and all over the internet, everybody's going to share it. And then all the Jamaican people come in and say they live in England, they live in Canada, and they've decided not to come back home for whatever their personal reasons may be. And see there, that's what I told you. That's why I won't go back because they're gonna follow you from the airport and kill you. Oh, seriously? And one person said they did have a relative that happened to, but and I know that that's your relative. So that one person does matter to you, but
Right.
one person out of all of you see how many plain loads people come back every day.
Mm-hmm.
The statistics are not bearing out the myth.
Right. And I understand if you understand how statistics work. I used to work for the Carnival Fire Department in public education. So I was the public education specialist for
Mhm.
for the for the Carnival Fire Department. And one of the things my boss told me my first day, he said, "Look, I need to give you some statistics. They're fire statistics on fire crimes because part of the office that I worked in, they investigated fire crimes. And so he said, you're gonna see as an African American, he was not African American. He said, you're gonna see that there are a large number of crimes by African Americans. He said, let me teach you how to read the statistics. He said, because people don't know. He said they lump the crimes for meth, which are traditionally not African American crimes, into another group. So even the
Mhm.
way that they do the statistics, so it's going to show you that African American crime is extremely high. He said, but they also don't put, for example, he said Carnival, for example, he gave an example, has very low fire crimes. He said, not true. He said, because a lot of our fire crimes are committed by teens. He said, did you know that Carnival High School gets firebombed every year around Christmas? I was
Hmm.
like, no, I did not know that. He said, did you hear about the teen that I think and it's like a preteen, it was like 11, 12, 13 years old that went into the sewer and put explosives into the sewer in Carnival? It's like, no. He said, did you know about the drug abuse and the overdoses? Every year we have at least about 10, 12, maybe sometimes 20 overdoses, drug overdoses. And those are investigated as crimes because we have to figure out where they got the drugs from and all. He said, and drug use is a crime. Did you ever see those reports on the news? It's
Okay.
like, no.
Right. Right.
So we don't know how we really don't realize how statistics are pulled together, because they can be pulled together in such a way. I mean, the Carnival shocked the nation with the recent Kroger that was,
Mm-hmm.
mass murder shooting. How
Mm-hmm.
much have you seen about that? And why didn't President Biden? Oh, anyway, we ain't gonna go. But
Mm-hmm.
you follow my you follow my logic, right? I feel like
Um,
um,
I will tell you this. I'm living happily, and my whole lane is a whole lot of returnees. All the way, it's a long lane, and all the way up, it's a whole lot of returnees. Um, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been a victim of petty crime uh, 3 times,
mm,
and I've been robbed at knife point
mm,
in a cane field in South Lamar in the middle of the night with a knife to me, and live to tell about it. That night, when I got back to the main road, 4 Jamaicans in a car picked me up. I was scared to get in the car with them, but this gentleman who came out of a shop told me, "Go ahead, miss, you need to get back in the grill." I was robbed
mm.
by the car driver. I got in the wrong car. You're supposed to get in a red plate car. I got in a white plate car. My mistake. Okay. So it was a fake cab driver, so to speak. All
Wow.
right. These 4 kind people, they took me back to the grill. They sat at the police station with me while I filled out my report. They took me back to my home. I went in the house to give them some money for all of their time and gas and effort. They refused to take it.
Mm,
So what I say to people about that night is, it's not that I've never been a victim of crime in Jamaica. Number one, he left me with my life. Okay. And number two, I think about the 4 Jamaicans that came to help me, not the one who robbed me.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's what we have to do. We
So
have to
I don't have
concentrate.
this Pollyanna,
View.
rose-colored glasses. Nothing ever happened to me, so the world is just rosy view of Jamaica. But I've also been robbed. I was bilked out of money in a Ponzi scheme in America quite a bit.
Mm,
I was robbed by 2 contractors of $20,000 in Memphis. Okay, so I've been a victim of crime both places,
right.
but it can happen anywhere. And I'm gonna say to you again, don't come moving to Jamaica if you're not strong. Don't come. It is not for the faint of heart. Or else be
Mm,
sure to keep you an open end ticket so you can jump on the plane at any time and run home back to much worse because Memphis ain't no better. So, you know, but no, I'm trust me, I'm very much awake, and I
very much quick.
still stand with Jamaica. I
Yeah.
still stand with Jamaica.
Still.
Still.
See, I you have to have that community that she's talking about, Mr. Hillary, of the 4 people who drove her to the police station and then sat with you and did not leave you, and
Hmm.
then didn't want anything in return but to know that you were safe.
Right.
That is community. That's real community. And how many people are going to do that? What do we do here? You see somebody on the side of the road, you won't even stop. They
Mm-mm.
will not even you could I they won't they won't even stop, and you can just keep on going. It is a little something about southern hospitality way down south in Jamaica. It's just something about it that doesn't change. Milton, right? It's just something about it. Owen says, what an awesome, one wise combination of perspectives. Blessings, sisters. Oh, Owen, that's so sweet of you.
Thank you. That's
I'm
very
feeding
sweet.
off of Misti Memphis. She's amazing. Let's see. Tamara wants to. We're gonna go through these questions, and I'm gonna let her go because I have overextended my time, and she's
Yeah,
been so generous. Do you use
we do.
generators?
We have generators. As a matter of fact, I know somebody has one for sale if it's interested.
Oh wow. Okay,
Yeah.
Tamara, you may be changing. I hear it. I might hear Jamaica in your future. Just go to Negril, Tamara, so we can be together. Miss Haley says the statistics are calculated per capita, one death per 100,000 people. Wow.
That's right. That's about
Mm-hmm.
right. Mm-hmm.
Yes, they are way happier. Way happier. The beach, the ocean, the good food, the sun, vitamin D, vitamin C. I mean, what more could you want? And sea moss and Jamaican black castor oil. Y'all know every time I talk about Jamaica, I have to mention Jamaican black castor oil. Miss Hillary, there. Yeah, I got that one. Let's see. Prodigal, I'm late for the conversation, but can you recap how U.S. plus expat can retire to Negril on a pension of 3,000 or so per month? No, because you got to go watch the replay. I'm just joking. If she has time, then sure.
Yeah. Like I said, you can get very lucky because one thing that a landlord would love to have you because you pay your bills on time and they don't have to come running you down, the first of every month, you know, and you're gonna probably take care of their property, maybe even improve it a little bit. Okay. So if you're lucky, you can get something like a one bedroom. You could get I'm gonna give you a window of anywhere from $300 a month to $1,500 a month, depending on what you're willing to give up and what you're willing to do without, amenity wise or whatever. Um, the reason I'm so lucky, I would tell you the most important thing is finding a good landlord, a good, honest landlord who is just happy to have you there and you just pay your bills and they leave you alone. That's the best thing you can wish for. My first landlord was not so great. The one I have now is 14 karat gold. I've been in my current location for 5 years, and I consider her a sister and a friend, more so than on top of being my landlord. She's just great. So you find your nice little place. Sometimes water is included. Very seldom do they include electric because electric can tend to get expensive. And then you just start fixing it to fit your particular needs. And the rest of it is spending money.
Yeah, absolutely. The
Hmm.
rest of it spending, and that's a lot of spending money. $300 rent. Do you know where you would be living in Memphis for $300? I mean, you can't. And even sometimes $1,500. Even in Carnival, the landlords just are not. It's a lot of slumlords out there. So y'all be careful when you compare in America to other places. Gar says, Misty, your reasoning is so balanced because people look at life one sided. I appreciate you both. The discussion. God bless Jamaica born. Much love. Jamaica born. All right now. Good to see you here. The Last American Crime. Y'all gotta watch this. You have got to watch. If you want to get into the psychology of stripes, stars and stripes, you definitely have to see that. It's a very good movie. Then we're gonna come back and we're gonna discuss it, and there will be a test. Okay.
Hi, King
So thank you,
Springfield.
Milton.
King Spotlight. Hi. Hi, King Spotlight.
Hello. You have some fans out there for sure. Synolve, I'm 56 years old. Are you 56, Samra? I didn't know you were older than me. Girl, you old. I'm in my 50s, so but I'm just messing with you, Deborah. We've been friends. The fans were running, the window with the screen was open, and we stayed outside in the heat all day long. You better not come back in the house.
Yeah.
You better not. And maybe you get a popsicle if you were good.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Right? I mean, this is America. I love Sister Misty and everything that she said. Yes. I mean, we have to begin to rethink community and rethink where we want to live. Prodigal says high property tax communities are affluent, so to keep the impression those areas are low to no crime is to use the tactics of police not feeling the incident as a crime incident such as a fentanyl drug. Exactly. That's what I mean. That's what I was talking about, and how
Right.
they, with the fire department, my experiences, and how they
Property
redid
taxes in
crime.
Jamaica are low. Property taxes in Jamaica are very low. Very low. I mean, faintingly low. If I, I don't have to pay them because my landlord pays them. But property taxes are low there. I mean, you would just faint if you found out what a yearly property tax is there compared to what you pay in the United States.
Right. Yeah.
Mm.
King Spotlight Hello says the story mystery that Misty shares gives me chills and is testimony indeed, not because of one, but the grace of many. Yes. Right. That's a beautiful story, the way that it ended. And it could have ended much different.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and E says, preacher, preachy. Yes. How many stop to help others on the side of the road in America? Good question. We don't. We don't. And then even if they dump you at the hospital, they're running because they don't want to be questioned by the police, because then the police are going to question them and they're going to be the main suspect. So very different in the way that it was handled in Jamaica with Misty, right? So those people are not now suspect number one. They're friends.
Can I tell you one more little thing about that incident?
Yes, absolutely.
I was coming from Kingston, applying for my permanent residency. I mean, literally, this was the day that I had made my decision to become part of this country, and I got robbed at knife point. The robber had in my bag my entire life because I had just come from Kingston applying for my permanent residency. I had a little bit of cash left over, but in that bag was my social security card, all of my credit cards, my passport. Let's put that at the top of the list. My passport, my marriage license, my divorce decree, bank statements, my income tax returns. Everything about my life was in that bag. So after I turned the bag over to him and he got back in the car, I go over to the car, to the driver's side, and I said, listen, could I ask you a favor? And he looked at me like I was crazy, like, I just got through robbing this bitch at knife point, and she gonna ask me. I said, could you go in the purse and take the cash out and leave me my paperwork, because my whole life is in that bag. And he said, how much cash is in here? I said, quite a bit. And he just drove off with everything. And I went, oh, well, I tried. So you picture me walking down this pitch black dark cane field at night. I couldn't even see my hand in front of my face, literally. And all of a sudden, I see headlights coming back toward me. And I said, oh, wow. Well, he's coming back. He's coming back to kill me now because he knows I can ID him. He made a U-turn, stopped. The driver's side door opened, and he pitched my bag out on the ground and drove off.
Wow.
He left my cell phone. He left my Canon camera. He left every single thing. He only took the cash. And he actually could have just dumped it in the weeds on his way to wherever, pitched the bag out, taking the cash, but he brought it back to me. Now, I know you say, is she really giving the robber credit? Yes, she is.
Yeah, because it could have turned out differently.
Yes, she is. And for all I know, I could pass, because really, I can give you a general description of him, but I might even pass him every day. I don't know. I don't know.
Right.
But he gave me all my stuff back. All of it. He only took the cash.
And that does not happen. That does not happen in America. This does not happen. That is, I mean, if people would shoot somebody buying cookies for their mama.
Hello.
That just does not happen. I mean, take the car or something. What was the whole point? It's just senseless. So no, that is a blessing. And it just speaks again to, you raise your children right. I was listening to someone talk about how people and children are raised in Jamaica. And it's just a different thing to respect their elders. And even when they do wrong, there's still some measure of respect that just still exists, right? Mm-hmm. And so hopefully that person will completely turn their life around. But I'm, just grateful that they gave you your stuff back and drove back to you, because they could have thrown it up the road and you never saw it again.
He wanted to see to it that I got it back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Tell her that 1,500 is more than a decent place. It's kind of the upscale end. That's your stainless steel appliances, granite countertop, dishwasher, internet, cable, blah blah blah. Yeah. That no, that's a upscale place.
Okay. How about bringing over a vehicle? Is that practical? They got the researchers coming at
Um,
the end.
you gotta pay. You gotta pay for that vehicle twice. If you ship a
Okay.
vehicle over there, you pay for that vehicle twice. You're gonna pay about what the vehicle costs to ship it over there. I wouldn't recommend
Mm.
it.
Did you ship? A lot of you all missed. So if you missed Misti Memphis, the information at the beginning when she was talking about the internet and us, our internet hounds, and not researching so much that we don't we lose the joy of what we're doing, and we just come up. Go back, okay? Just know it's a
No, I
nugget in
didn't
there
ship.
for all of
Okay,
us.
to answer the first thing, I didn't ship anything.
Okay.
Every stick of furniture in my house was handmade by Jamaican carpenters and from the ground up. I bought nothing commercially done. Even the cart my microwave is on was custom made by a Jamaican artisan. That way, I feel like I'm putting money back in Jamaican people's hands. My patio furniture, my deck furniture, everything is handmade by Jamaican craftsmen. I didn't ship anything over. The only thing I brought over was my personal clothes, things like bed sheets and mattress covers, and did bring my draperies, from IKEA and stuff like that. But no, I didn't ship stuff over. Now, if it's stuff that you're so emotionally attached to, and because see, but here's the big difference with me. I didn't dissolve my house in America.
Okay.
So it's different if you're giving up everything and moving to Jamaica and this is it. You know what I'm saying? I kept my house in the US. So that's what makes a difference with me. Would I,
Mm-hmm.
if I had been dissolving everything, it would be different. Okay. But what was the other question you asked me?
Yeah, I was
Uh,
wondering about shipping companies. I hear people shipping from Florida and other places, and I
That's
don't know about
another
shipping
area
companies.
that I can't advise well on because I've never done it. But from what I'm
Mm-hmm.
understanding right now, is not the time to try to do it because just like America's ports are backed up,
Mm-hmm.
Jamaica's ports are backed up and the shipping costs have gone exorbitant. There is a group called the One Love Brigade, and they do wonderful work. They're out of Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they bring wheelchairs, walkers, and bicycles for children, and all kinds of wonderful things to help Jamaican people have a better life. They weren't able to ship their containers this year for the first time because the cost
Wow.
was cost prohibitive because of this clog in the system, you know? So I would say until this COVID mess is over and things kind of level out, I wouldn't try the shipping thing.
Okay. Great advice. Yeah, I had to
Yeah.
get my one internet question. So I'm trying to. I need to
Hmm.
get it out about the research out of my system. It's getting there. It's getting there. O and E says, "Praise God, the Almighty intervened that He must bring your documents back to you. All He needed was money, not your life. Praise the Most High."
Hmm.
There is always something. My grandmother used to say, "God watches out over fools and children." Of course.
Hey, I tell you one more thing about that little incident.
Okay.
When I go to the police to report it happened in December. It was December the 13th, 2019.
Mm.
Uh, the policemen all said, "Well, it's the Christmas. What do you expect?" In other words,
Wow.
the robber had to buy the toys and stuff for the children.
For the
So
children.
it was like, "It's the Christmas. So it's the Christmas. You should expect to get robbed." Well,
Oh
after
Lord.
all, it's the Christmas. That's all I ever got was, but it's the Christmas.
What do
And
you expect? It's the Christmas.
this is for the policeman now.
Right.
But it's the Christmas. Oh, okay, okay. Well,
Okay.
I'm sure his family had a lovely Christmas via me.
Oh goodness. And and when I think about the reason I said that is because we know obviously Misti Memphis is highly intelligent. She's an intellectual. If you read any of her posts, it just takes a couple of words to be able to see that for sure. And she's an educator, of course. But when we go over, in the story that she gave clearly illustrates this. When we go over to other countries, sometimes we just are just not aware.
There's a disconnect. And you know, one thing that's really not going to work is your little wry, sarcastic sense of humor. Because you'll say something you think is so funny, and this is what you'll get. and you're waiting on them to bust out laughing, and they taking you literally, and sometimes they get offended, because. Wow. But the sense of humor is a real disconnect. I have a roommate. He's a riot to me. But when he comes to visit, I spend 90% of my time explaining to the Jamaican people, see, what he really meant was, and he didn't really mean it that way. And what he's trying to say is.
Right. That American sense of humor.
Does not compute. Does not compute. Not always, you can't make it.
But you have to realize you're in a different country. And I'm glad you brought that up. King Spotlight, Misty, what do you say is the primary appeal for Black Americans in the West when Western Jamaica, to come to Western Jamaica, primarily Negril, it's possibly similar to the British fascination with Mandeville in Jamaica.
I find that most Black Americans these days are selling in Montego Bay, especially these young people. See, they like living in a city, and I wanted to get away from that. I didn't want to see all that traffic. I'm not, they want all the shopping centers and the big grocery stores. It's the closest you're probably going to get to America in Jamaica, even more so than Kingston, because Kingston is so wide and spread out. You know what I'm saying? But Montego Bay, you got these two big, huge shopping centers, which is what it looks a lot like the U.S. Do you know there's a Great American Home store there? Oh, my God.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It's a Great American Home store. You got KFC. You got Popeyes. You got McDonald's. You got,
no.
Wasn't what I was interested in. Okay?
No.
So I don't think that they tend to come to Western Jamaica as much. They congregate in Montego Bay. Yeah, definitely.
I was listening to someone talk about going to Mexico, and then the conversation kind of developed and went on to talk about Jamaica, and they were lamenting the fact that there are no Chinese foods, or not a lot of Chinese food in Mexico or Jamaica. And I thought, why would you go to Jamaica?
There's a lot of Chinese food in Jamaica. We got 6 Asian-oriented restaurants in Negril.
Wow.
Yeah, there's Kenny's.
Listen to them, whoever that was.
Seaview, Yams, Sing You, Matthews, and I'm forgetting one. But there's a lot of Asian, and it's good too. It's better because it's like Jamaican Chinese fusion. Because these are Chinese-born Jamaicans. They've been in Jamaica for generations, and they fuse that Chinese style cooking with some of the Jamaican ingredients. And honey, that stuff is good.
Good.
It's really good.
That's why I had to bring the expert on, because you then Mr. already told y'all about reading the internet. Some of this information is just not good. You got to get boots on the ground. Brother says thank you both.
And in Montego Bay, they have one called Misty that everybody is raving about. They got they have Thai food in Montego Bay. Everybody's raving about this Mystic Thai place. So we got lots of Chinese places.
Wow. See? Don't listen to the internet. Party Girl says, thank you both for the information and outlook. I catch the replay. Awesome. Love that. And welcome to all of you all who are catching the replay. Thank you so much.
Oh,
Misty,
health
wealth of
insurance.
information.
She asked about health insurance. That's
Yes.
important. You can Google it. It's easy to Google expat health insurance. And you can, I personally have not looked into it because my way of handling it was that when I have a major problem or something, I just fly back to Memphis and take care of it with my American insurance. But I had a girlfriend who had a brilliant plan. So I'm gonna give you all this one. Okay, y'all listening? Okay. She's originally from St. Louis, Missouri, and she got her doctors in St. Louis, Missouri to give her referrals to, oh, let's just say a dentist, OBGYN, general practitioner, whatever your gastroenterologist in Miami, Florida. And she took a week and went there and visited each doctor as a new patient intake and filled out all the paperwork and became their patient. Now, you in Jamaica, right? You 40-minute flight away from Miami.
Oh, wow.
You got a problem? Just fly over there to your now Miami doctors and get it taken care of and use your American health insurance.
Mm. Wisdom. Yes. Wisdom. Well, I think we've gone through all of the comments. When you fly from Memphis to Jamaica, and I think we've gotten all your comments and all your questions. So thank you so much to everyone for asking such questions, lively conversation. We appreciate it, and welcome to you all who are watching the replay. We appreciate you. When you fly from Memphis, how long is the flight? And do you have to have several stops? What airline
I have
do you
to.
recommend?
I love Delta, but we used to have a nonstop from Memphis to Montego Bay every day. You remember when I was working for the airline?
Mm-hmm.
I used to have to hear that announcement every day that the flight was leaving from Montego Bay. I wanted to be on it every time. But you have to go from Memphis to Atlanta, Atlanta to Montego Bay. Okay, so once you get to the Atlanta end, your flight to Montego Bay is roughly 2 hours and 45 minutes. No sooner than you settle down with the movie and a couple of drinks, you're there. It's not bad at all. And from Memphis to Atlanta is about an hour, 15 minutes.
Long layover?
Yeah. No, usually Delta tries to do their connections pretty tight. So once you land, you better be booking it to your gate because you're not going to be leaving too soon after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, awesome. I, again, am so grateful to Misti Memphis for sharing all of this amazing, wonderful information. She's been so generous with
Thank
her
you for
time.
feeling that I am important enough to interview. Thank you.
You are.
I enjoyed
the
it.
first day. No, you are. And from the first day when I stepped in that group and then sent you the friend request, I was like, I've got to interview her. So I've been working on the internet, trying to get moved, trying to do all this stuff. And I thought, okay, we tested the internet and we finally got it right. And I was like, oh, now I can send it out to do the interview. And then today it wants to act. Yeah, but I thank you for being patient with me.
I enjoyed it
today. Yeah, and because
no problem.
Your perspective is what we need to hear. So many people are glossing over what is going on in Jamaica, and you have a real experience, very extremely valuable perspective, and a wealth of information that we need to know and really needs to be highlighted throughout the diaspora, because we tend to go places and or spend a lot of time researching when we could already be there, and we are so afraid of taking the leap and taking the chance, and you give us the courage and the inspiration to do that, whether it's after we retire or whether it's something that we decide to go now. Yeah.
Children,
And
you
so
can't
you are
be afraid. How afraid do you think your ancestors were going through those woods at night with
absolutely
Harriet? If you hear the gunshots back, if you hear, if whatever you think that they're coming for, you don't look back. So children, you cannot be afraid. You cannot be.
Cannot be afraid. And they didn't know everything that was going to be for them, how things were going to be once they got to where they were, where they were going. They didn't know how it would
On the
be. They
other
didn't know
end,
what it would look like. But they went,
they were
and they didn't
stepping
have
out
all
into
the
the great
answers.
unknown.
Mm-hmm.
And you won't have
They
all the
did.
answers when you go to Jamaica, but Jamaica will give them to you.
Right. Absolutely. And that's what we needed to hear. That's what I needed to hear. It's Hubby and I needed to hear, because this has been so valuable. This has been so valuable. And I hope that you genuinely feel from the bottom of my heart, and all of the guests that are here, how much you've been a blessing to us and how much you have helped us on our journey, because this Black
You
Exodus
know.
movement is happening. It is happening.
Yeah,
And
it
there
is.
are courageous and inspiring individuals like you who are leading the way. And we have to, we have to acknowledge your wisdom and acknowledge the journey. You are our modern day Harriet Tubmans. I mean, you
Oh
are
wow.
lighting the path for us, and we are grateful. We
Thank you.
are so grateful. So, any last words or advice that you'd like to share before you go? Because
No,
we
I
could
think
keep
that
you
last thing
forever.
I think that last thing I said was probably a good place for me to end. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. Thank you again. And have an amazing, amazing day. Misty, thank you so much.
All
And I
right,
hope you'll
baby.
join us again when the internet is on having a better day.
Okay, honey.
Thank you.
Talk to you later. Bye bye.
Bye bye. All right, guys. You've heard it from the Queen. Misty Memphis has generously shared her time and her spirit with us. And I am so full and just so blessed to know her and to have met her online. I feel like I know her in my own real life, but to met her online and to hear all of the wisdom that she shared. And so many of us have thought, if you've been on this journey with me, then I started out Africa, Africa, Africa. And so many of us are now opening our hearts and our minds that other areas might be, where we should go, maybe the best places for us, because you have to go. Misty talked about that. You have to go where is best for you. You have to go where it's best for you, where you're being called to go. And Misty was definitely called to go to Jamaica, and everything just lined up and it's coming together beautifully. I feel that way with myself in this journey in Jamaica. I really do feel this way. Like things are just sort of, the information that I need is coming to me easily. Now, if your path is leading you to Tanzania, or it's leading you to Ghana, or anywhere, Trinidad and Tobago, or anywhere in the world, then I bless you on your journey, because we are a part of a great movement. We are part of Black Exodus journey, and it's happening. It is happening. And all we need to do is get out of our own heads and get out of our own way and do the things that we need to do to put boots on the ground and get out there and see what the world has to offer, just like our ancestors have done. And Misty Memphis shared them. I've left links for you all, okay, to join Misty in her group. She has two groups: Capital Casual Negril Jamaica. Currently, of course, as you know, Misty is in Negril. It's a beautiful, beautiful area. So many people, amazing repats and expats call Negril home. Also, I've left a link to her group, Facebook Jamaica, which is absolutely, absolutely amazing group as well. So if you want to join any of those groups, I've left it, made it easy for you to just click the link and join those two groups as well. It's positive only, positive vibes, a lot of great information, a lot of great, beautiful, friendly, loving people, a community. And if you're looking for a community, you don't have one here, and you're thinking of moving or relocating to Negril or anywhere in Jamaica, these two groups will be very extremely helpful for you. I hope you'll take away with you Misty's spirit and inspiration and advice and apply it into your own life, no matter where you are. Put boots on the ground, right? Get out there. Don't stay in your own way. Learn to adjust and be flexible. Okay. And don't let research stop you from doing anything that you want to do. At the end of the day, try it, because until you go there you won't know. And when you get there, be flexible. Don't be stuck in your own American or Western idealized view, whether it relates to crime or anything that you're hearing in the news about Jamaica or any other country that you choose to move to. Be careful, know where you are, but also know that everything is not what it seems. And some things are more beautiful than you can ever imagine, especially when it comes to Negril and 7 Mile Beach. All right, guys, I'm going to let you go. As always, you know, I love you. You're amazing. You're beautiful. You're wonderful. You are on a journey, and we're on this journey together. And we are going to get to the promised land, and apparently it's going to be televised. All right, guys, I love you guys so much. Thank you for hanging in there with me. Thank you to Misty for hanging in there with me with all the technical issues. Thank you to you for hanging in there with me in the technical issues. Be sure to, if you gotten this far, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Come back and comment on the video and share the video with someone, no matter where they're going, whether they're going to Jamaica or they're going anywhere in the world. Everything that Misty shared, all of her advice is absolutely phenomenal, and it applies to you wherever you choose to call home. All right, guys, I'll see you in another video real soon. This is Synolve signing off. Have an amazing day and know how much you are loved. Bye-bye, guys. Have an amazing day. Yeah, I'm going to see you in another video real soon.